Will you return home? And the Houston Astros have their hero, the GOAT, number 27, do a great job. And we're going to talk about how many outs there were when almost every run was scored. And Lance McCullers Jr., way to serve it up. Let's start right now.
Jainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros. We hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can you find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Stros411 on X and on Facebook. Back to the Bullpen on X, on Instagram, on iHeartRadio. Or, you know what? I'm always positive. Always Jose Altuve. Always Stros.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Make this first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go ahead and check us out. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Who would have thought? Who would have put $5 down that Jose Altuve, after not hitting a home run since April 28th, would not only have one home run, but two home runs? And Lance McCullers would have pitched into the fifth inning. And Ronel Blanco hitting the IL. What does this mean? What does this mean for the Astros rotation? These are just some of the topics we're going to be talking about on this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. But Lance McCullers, I know everybody's excited about the 9 runs. Great. We're excited about this. But Lance McCullers kind of got the momentum going. Yes, he gave up the 1 run in the first inning. He struggled with command. He gave up that leadoff walk on 4 pitches. Yeah. And then he struck out the next 2 batters. That was his first strikeout since October 3rd in 2022 at home. So there's a lot of firsts for McCullers in this game. And he was doing it mostly on the slider, his changeup, and he threw a couple of curveballs here and there.
Yeah, Eric, in the very first inning, like you mentioned, the very first couple batters, and I think he had 27 pitches in the first inning. You were like, oh, what Lance McCullers are we going to get? This is a guy that really needs to grind. And I had a pretty exhaustive exchange with a couple Astros fans about Lance McCullers Jr. And then people saying, oh, we should just cut him. He's dead weight and blah, blah, blah. He's wasting all this money. And I'm like, no, it's like, give him time. He's getting better. And I kept saying all day, he's going to go 5. The dude's going to go 5. What if he goes 6? But what if he goes 5 and he's solid? What if he goes 5 and he's solid and the Astros win? And I was trying to, inject that positivity into there because, man, Lance McCullers has had a hell of a road back. And, the guy settled down and he got results, Eric. The guy had 8 strikeouts. Eric, if you would have told me last year that on May 22nd of this year that Lance McCullers would go 5 innings and strike out 8, I'd be like, what Lance McCullers are you talking about? And he has shown evidence to put in the work. And if you watch him, I don't know if you pay attention to the frames in between innings, I like when they show the dugout. Lance is on there looking at the iPad. When I saw Lance in the dugout, I was like, I can see this guy being a pitching coach. Like, he is really going through the game and dissecting things. You love to see it. And it was great that the offense showed up to support him as well.
Yes. So he had 8 strikeouts, like you said, in today's game. Before this, in 8 innings this season, he had 6 strikeouts.
Wow.
So he was definitely relying on the breaking pitches. He did use the fastball. The home run came on a sinker that just kind of was a flat one right down the middle and did nothing. But overall, he was a little bit, I would call it effectively wild. He did have some walks. He had 3 walks, but He kept the Mariners guessing, and they had some hard hit contact in the fifth inning. That's why I think Joe Spada went to Sean Dubin to get the final two outs there. You could tell that that McCullers is just like, no, come on, keep me in there. But at that point, he had 91 pitches, season high, and he had done a good job. And as a manager, with somebody that has had the ups and downs so far of the season that McCullers had, you want him to end on a positive note. The 8 strikeouts, the only 2 earned runs, 5 hits going into the 5th inning. This is the first time he's done this since Game 4 of the ALCS, October 23rd, 2022. So there's a lot of things that he did good in this game. Yes, he kind of fell short of getting that win in this game. The Astros offense gave him the run support, but Ron Dubin came in. That was probably one of the most stressful moments I think Astros fans probably experience. And you see Lance McCullers in a dugout just pacing back and forth and just like, oh, come on, Doobie.
Well, right, because he takes so much pride in the work he does off the field to get prepared to be on the field. And like I said, it has been a struggle to get to this point. I mean, he even talked at the beginning of the season how his daughter basically told him that, I can't wait to see you pitch again, where he was doubting himself. Now, why are all these things important we're talking about? Lance McCullers, the 7 through 9 hitters we'll talk about in the second segment, Ronel Blanco, and all these other guys coming up, the IL, all that stuff. Why? Because in this season, it is so important that the guys you have on the mound that are healthy are producing. The guys you have in the lineup, whether you like them, think they're permanent, or think they're expendable, they have to produce. And so Lance McCullers comes out and delivers the job. I like the brew message you put out there. I like that. A little, hey, Wheelhouse, what about your making fun of Lance for the whole, coffee shop? Look, man, I take all the shade back that I threw at him. I think I was feeling a lot of the fans' tensions towards Lance McCullers when all this stuff was going on. But that's all water under the bridge now. Lance McCullers Jr. comes in, and he just does a phenomenal job. Now, it's unfortunate that he didn't get the win here, but for Lance McCullers, he doesn't care about the W's and the L's in his column more than he cares about the wins for the team. And he contributed to this team. This is a win, and this is a quality win against a team that has been performing at a very high level. The Seattle Mariners have been the best offensive team lately in the American League West.
And the good thing is that the Mariners did have 9 swings against the curveball. He didn't throw a curveball a lot today, but there's 5 whiffs against the curveball. He had 16 called strikes or whiffs against the slider. So the slider was moving, like it was literally going and right back in strike zone, right, painting the corner. So his stuff was electric today. And sometimes it was a little bit too much movement. I know that there's a couple of instances where there should have been a strike, but I think that was on both sides. But overall, it was 37 swings, 14 whiffs. The only bad thing you can say about McCullers' outing is the home run and also 92.3 miles per hour average exit velocity. That means that when they made contact, they were hitting it pretty hard.
Yeah, but this is the last time these two met was in a key playoff game that went 18 innings, and he out-whiffed George Kirby, which was cool. Yeah. George Kirby was throwing smoke, dude. Like, this guy was blazing on the mound, and I was like, oh, crap, George Kirby's going to have our number. And the Astros gave a good counterpunch. I got a question. Mm-hmm. We're talking about pitchers. Did Lance McCullers hit any Mariners?
No.
Okay. Jerry Pena got hit first pitch.
Twice.
And he got hit twice. Do you think that's do you think that stretches back to the 18 inning game with the home run?
Are we going back that far? Are you going back 2 years?
hey, it is Seattle. They are petty sometimes, right? Hey, man, I'm trying to stick up for my guy, Jeremy Pena, La Tormenta. But Jeremy
Pena did fight back. If that was the case, he had his revenge. And we'll go ahead and continue this conversation next. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day.
All right, everybody, let me tell you about FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and I know the Rockets are out of it, but if you haven't been watching it, you've been missing a lot. Highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Which players are showing up for the biggest moments? Is it Tyrese Halliburton? Who is out there? What's going to happen? What would you like to do when it comes to combining live bets, live props, mid games, so many things? And how could a $200 bonus bet sound to you? Well, all you got to do is bet $5 and let that bet win, and you get $200 in bonus bets. So if you're new to FanDuel, it's a perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com today and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Hey guys, we don't have to throw pitches at you for you to subscribe to us, do we? We don't. You don't have to be out there like Jeremy Pena to go ahead and subscribe to us. We're trying to get to 14,000 subscriptions. So all you have to do is hit that little red button, and Brett doesn't have to throw a 30-mile-per-hour fastball at you. So,
bro, I can so blaze 63 or 64 right now. Don't shortchange me, brother.
Anyway, so before we move on to the hitting, I do want to touch on the hitting, especially Jeremy Pena. Dubin, what he did with the bases loaded was key. Like 97 miles per hour, top the zone to strike out Taveras, and then a pop-up to Dubon to end the inning. That was key. Like bases loaded, 1 out. That was a recipe for disaster, especially with the Astros. I believe at that time it was still 2-2, or actually the Astros were trailing at that time. It was 2-0. So that was a big moment of the game, and I think that was probably a momentum shifter. The fact that Dubin was able to get this done, and I didn't realize how good of a season he's had, just because he's been quietly getting it done. And so that's what the Astros bullpen has been this year, is a bunch of quiet heroes and guys that you wouldn't expect to be that guy. And so maybe Dubin is that guy. But Jeremy Pena, he has been that quiet hero or unquiet hero for the Houston Astros. And he had his 500th career hit today. It was a triple that scored 2 runs to extend the lead. It was Dubon that gave them the lead, but it was that 2-run triple that really kind of gave them that comfortable lead.
Yeah, definitely. And you like to see Jeremy Pena continue to produce. Not only did he produce, Eric, and get his 500th hit, he got it in just great fashion. At the end of the day, you look at this lineup and what they're capable of doing, like they did tonight against the Seattle Mariners, who are 7 games above 500. From Pena to Altuve to Diaz to Caratini down to Dubon. The 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Myers, Smith, Dubon, getting the job done, getting the work done. And so you love to see it. You love to see, Jose Altuve gave credit to Jeremy Pena and Isaac Paredes hitting in front of him, and him being, I guess, inspired by their good offense lately. This is a guy who's the ultimate team guy. He turned it around today. Not only did Pena get the 500th hit, but he hit 2 home runs. And Eric, was it you that said it earlier, or I heard it earlier on the broadcast? He hadn't hit a home run since April 28th.
Yeah, Jose Altuve hasn't hit a home run since April 28th. Yeah. And so this is a situation where Altuve struggled. It was 80 plate appearances. He only had one home run in his past 156 plate appearances. So it was a no doubter. Like the first one, he kind of golfed into the Crawford boxes. The other one was pretty much a no doubter. And so when you see Jose Altuve comfortable like that, getting the swings and getting the lift like he did, that's good. Does that mean that Jose Altuve all of a sudden is fixed? No, but that means that possibly it could be the start of great things because this guy is the ultimate team player. He's been wearing it for the past 3 weeks or so, struggling and worrying about things. And Brett, that this was like, I can breathe now. I can go out there and I can just play baseball because this is the big monkey or elephant in the room, and he just got it off his back, or whatever the phrase I'm trying to look for. It was just, I think he was relieved, and I think everybody, all Houston was.
No, well, here's the thing. I know exactly what you're talking about because Jose Altuve after the game said, I went back to my original game plan and doing the things I know to do. We know that Jose Altuve presses, and when he presses, he's not successful. And he suggested the move away from the leadoff spot. He didn't start not producing because he gave up the leadoff spot. This is a guy that cares probably almost too much with his heart of what he does at the plate. And I think sometimes those emotions play a part on the psychological aspect. The psychological aspect has an effect on the physical aspect. I mean, baseball is not just a singular sport. It's not just about what you can do athletically. It's mentally. I mean, look, you could have a case, and I'm going to relate this back to Altuve. Juan Soto got dropped in the Mets lineup tonight, okay? And to protest his being dropped, when he went up to bat, he didn't swing at a single pitch on purpose. This guy's getting paid almost he's getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's doing this to his team. Altuve is going up, trying to figure out how it is he can get back to helping the ball club. That's why I would take Jose Altuve over anybody in an Astros uniform because he's all about the team and how he can get them to win. The 2 home runs today were sweet. I wish I was in the Crawford boxes catching that home run tonight. That's a sweet prize right there for a fan.
Yes, and most of the offense today came from the bottom of the lineup. Yet Carantini with 3 hits, Myers with another hit, and Smith with a hit and a walk, and Dubon with another 2 hits like he had the day before. But most importantly, you had 5 of the first 6 runs scored were from the 7 through 9 hitters. So you have these guys reaching base. You have these guys producing. This kind of disguises the fact that your 4 through 5 guys have been struggling. And Brett, something that we missed in yesterday's podcast, I don't know if you talked about it. I don't remember us talking about it, but they did switch Diaz and Walker. So Diaz is batting 4th and Walker is batting 5th now. So Joe Espada is looking at things and saying, okay, let's go and drop Walker and see what happens.
You're right. We did not highlight that. Walker went with the mustache. I thought maybe he'd hit a home run tonight. Baseball players are superstitious. Look, the Walker's hit, though, he was 1 for 5. He hit it to right center field. I need to see more opposite field hits from Christian Walker, Eric. But when you have Walker further down in the lineup, I think it only accentuates and helps improve the success of those 7 through 9, because you go 5, 6, 7 through 9. If those guys are producing, and if this offense can consistently produce over a 4 to 6 game span, that changes the way teams pitch your team. Mm-hmm. And you only think about this. You only extend your lineup in a positive way if Walker starts hitting where you put him. Forget having to have him 4th. You got to get this guy right. This guy's got to look. He is 199 right now. He went 1 for 5 tonight, had 2 strikeouts. He's got some improvement to do, but I still believe that Christian Walker is going to get there eventually.
And don't forget, the Astros did sign a potential Christian Walker replacement today, a minor league contract Greg Jones, a former first-round pick.
We got our guy. We got our guy.
27-year-old switch hitter. So he has 9 games of major league experience. So I don't know if this is the answer, but this is another depth option. So this is something that the Astros are doing, is just putting everybody at AAA to see, in case they need it, what they have available. So I know that Alvarez progressed to hitting off a coach tossing in a cage. So that's baby steps. So he's gone from hitting off a tee to a coach pitch. So he's gone from T-ball to coach pitch. So maybe he'll go to machine pitch next.
Hey,
so,
it's just like Chris says here. Greg Jones is here to save the Astros season, waiting for Jordan to show up.
Yeah. So guys, we're going to continue this conversation next. Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. And watching I don't spend a lot of time looking at Astros X anymore, but I know a lot of people are calling for the DFA of Brendan Rodgers. A lot of people are calling for Chas McCormick as well. And I think a lot of people are getting frustrated with the performance of the offense as a whole.
Right.
But I think the biggest concern right now is, yes, the offense has been struggling. The pitching has been doing so great. The bullpen has been so dynamic, but the rotation is starting to scare me a little bit. You have Ronel Blanco, who officially went on the IL today with elbow inflammation.
That's
which
not
could
good.
be a sign that something needs to happen in the future. He's getting a second opinion, which is not normally a good sign, which I think this is what happened with Hayden.
Eric, it's okay. Huh? It's okay. You can say Tommy John. I think.
Well, yeah, it's his birthday. It is his birthday today. So
it is his birthday today. You're right.
I don't want another Astros pitcher to have Tommy John surgery.
Eric, whether you say it or not, I think it's inevitable at this point. I mean, if you just think about it, if your elbow's inflamed, what is a second doctor going to tell you? Oh, that's not inflammation. Like, no, he's going to say that's inflammation, and he's going to say, well, look, someone kind of joked on X today, and they're like, do the Astros get group discounts on TJ surgeries? And I'm like, it's that bad. And what sucks about this, Eric, now the good thing is Eric Getty's cast is off, and he's doing some gripping exercises, because when you have a cast on, you're not using your hand. So he's building up the strength in his hand. That's a good sign. But man, Ronel Blanco, man, he had some really good outings. He had a couple outings where we were wondering in spring training, wondering the first part of this, like the very first part of the season, man, Ronel just doesn't seem like he's got everything together. And he put 2-3 solid outings on the mound. And then this, look, if let's just say they determine he goes to Tommy John, you have him and Wisniewski coming back next September if it's this early. So there's the silver lining, kids. But so this means Colton Gordon being brought up?
Yeah,
okay.
He's likely going to start on Sunday. Okay. So because somebody went on IL, he does not have to stay the entire time down in AAA. So that's how this roster move was done. So this is from Cody over at the Crawford boxes. Crawford boxes. He said that the Astros actually have had since 2021 4 Tommy John surgeries.
Okay.
So that includes Wisniewski. So the Dodgers, Padres, and Mariners are tied for the lead with 8 Tommy John surgeries since that time. So if this is the case, this would be number 5. So we can't say that it's something the Astros are doing. So they're not leading.
No, this
baseball. It's recency bias. It's the guys that the Astros were supposed to be counting on. The Christian Javier, the Luis Garcia, now the Hayden Wisniewski, and now the Ronel Blanco. And so it's just a lot of the guys that you were supposed to be counting on. Now they're supposed to be like Garcia. It was supposed to be a year recovery, whatever. It's been 2 years since he's had the surgery, and he just keeps on having setbacks.
Or as known as Tomas Juan. That's what Steely Bob said instead of Tommy John. Tomas Juan.
Oh, okay. I thought
Eric
you were
did not
talking
get
about,
the joke. The joke went right over Eric's head. He's
I
like,
thought you were
"What?"
talking about Luis Garcia. I'm like, what does that have to do with it?
No. Yeah, Eric's like, who else did we sign to a minor league contract? But here's the thing. I literally said the other day, I was in a conversation, just a casual conversation about the Astros with a friend of mine. And I was like, we need to sign no, it was on the radio today in Louisiana. I was talking to RP3 and I said, I want the Astros. I know that Dana Brown is looking at bats and people to sign, but I don't want some random minor leaguer or some former first round pick, something to that effect. And then I see this signing and I'm like, good God. But getting back on track with Ronel Blanco, with Colton Gordon, with all these guys, we do have guys that are in AAA that I think are serviceable. The Gustos, the Blancos, the AJ Blue Balls, guys like that can help out. And so you have that going for you. Eric Getty comes back. I think once Eric Getty comes back, he's going to be fine. He's not going to have a lot of tread off the tires this year. Hopefully he can get back to throwing right. But at this point tonight, Eric, we're 26-24, 2 games over 500. And all this because going back to our first segment, Lance McCullers 5 innings solid. Like you said in the second segment, we talked about the 7 through 9 hitters. And what is this mentality of this team, next man up? But you put 9 runs up on the Seattle Mariners, who are leading the American League West. This is an important series. And I am not saying that this is the most important series of the year, but to date, this is the most important series. If you can take 3 of 4 from the Mariners, Eric, you're making a statement. Why? Because the Mariners are in first and the Mariners are hot. We're not getting them while they're down. We're not beating them while they're licking their wounds. They're playing some darn good baseball. That is key for the Astros going forward, because then you can say, oh, look, we beat them when they were hot. We can beat them anytime. That, to me, is a signal that the Astros still do have control of the West, even though they haven't played like that all season long coming to this point.
I would like to see a little bit more winning, consistent winning before we
right.
can say.
No. I'm just saying, if you can win 3 or 4 from this series, then you can realistically say this is a team that has a roster that can beat the Mariners in the long run, because we know what the Mariners do historically. They fall off. And if the Astros can beat them now when they're a hot team, Cal Riley, who is playing at an MVP level, what did he do? Say he was 2 for 4. He had 3 strikeouts. Okay. Mm-hmm. Cal Riley did not look like an MVP today. Cal Riley looked pedestrian today, and you need that. You need to do that against good teams. And so I think this is a very solid win. I think this series is the most important to date.
Yeah, I think that Danny Brown the other day mentioned that Michael Eola could be another option to come up at some point. He doesn't want to have to go that deep into the depth.
Yeah, Miguel Eola is good, a good solid option. But yeah, that means you're going to him for other reasons, and you don't want to have to do that now.
Yeah. So far in with the Space Cowboys, he's 2-2 with a 3.86 ERA. He has 40 strikeouts and 28 innings pitched. His WHIP is 1.39. So I think that it will be a good option. I think they'll go to AJ Blue Ball if they need to. If, let's say, Ryan Gusto doesn't measure up anymore, and they need to get another arm up. But at the same point, the 17 straight days of no off days, that's up on Sunday. So they have some relief in sight. There is some relief, some more pitching, some pitchers trying to come back. It's still going to be a long road for some of these guys.
Right.
But the Astros just have to deal with the cards that they're dealt with. The Dana Brown did not really properly prepare them for this season. That's why I said they did not get enough starting pitching. And you people are like, well, they have la. I'm like, so you never have enough pitching. Just think about last year. We had all those pitchers and they all went down. You had to go get Kikuchi. And you always seem to have to go get Justin Verlander. He's not going to be, I mean, he Probably will
No.
be ready, but I don't
Justin
think the Astros
Verlander
are gonna
is
trade
no, sorry. Justin Verlander is not coming to Houston. He's done. It's like I put the GIF on X today where you have Cougar from Top Gun where he's like taking his mask off, and it was over a Justin Verlander announcement on the IL, and I was like, Goose was holding on too tight, Maverick. So I don't think Justin Verlander is going to get to 300 wins.
No, he's
Unfortunately.
kind of he's not the same pitcher he used to be. And the Astros, I think, realized that, and they weren't going to give him the money that he wanted. They're expecting some type of hometown discount, even though this is not his hometown. But I think Jim Crane was hoping that he had the buddy arrangement where he could maybe stay, and maybe that Justin Verlander missed enough time that he felt like he owed it to Houston. But
Right.
with this sport, there's no such thing as, oh, well, he owes us. You can never predict injuries, but there's positive notes from today's game. Of course, the offense, but the fact that you have the bullpen that is almost lights out, if not lights out, and then Lance McCullers took the next step to becoming what he used to be. He may be still struggling with that command, but the stuff is definitely there.
Yeah, and I said earlier he went 5 innings. He actually went 4 1/3 innings, but we'll still consider it 5 for Lance. So we'll have Lance
He went into the 5th inning.
Yes, we'll have Lance innings, and I'm joking. But yeah, no, I just didn't want people to say
human years and dog years. Brett.
Wheelhouse said he went 5 innings. He went 4 1/3 innings. But hey, man, there's 100 of y'all watching. We appreciate it. We had 69 at one time. That was nice. So y'all have a good one. Eric, great show. I mean, way to kick off the Seattle series, a 4-game set. I mean, I want 3 out of 4, but freaking Corbin wants a sweep, bro. They're getting greedy now.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens in tomorrow's game. Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day.
Go Stros.